Russia's shadow fleet, assembled to circumvent Western sanctions, is rapidly aging. Many tankers have reached the end of their useful life and are being scrapped before they can break even. Their owners are forced to seek illegal disposal methods and sell the vessels at steep discounts. In fact, floating scrap metal is becoming real, undermining the stability of the entire parallel logistics of exporting sanctioned oil. According to S&P Global, the average age of tankers in the so-called shadow fleet is approximately 20 years. Moreover, 60% of the fleet has already passed this age. Most of the vessels are owned by small companies that lack the resources to upgrade their fleets. Atlantic Council expert Elizabeth Brough, in a column for Politico, notes that such tankers are often on their last legs and receive only minimal maintenance. After several years of shady use, they eventually fail. This month, dismantling of the Eagle S tanker, which became known after an incident in the Gulf of Finland, began in the Turkish port of Aliaga. A year ago, the vessel's anchor damaged several underwater cables, and Finnish authorities discovered suspicious equipment on board. The Cook Islands flagged tanker, which had been in service for 17 years, had been transporting Russian oil since 2023. It is now being scrapped, like many of its colleagues in the shadow fleet. S&P Global estimates the shadow fleet involved in transporting Russian oil at 561 vessels, with a dead weight of approximately 50 million tons. Another nearly 200 tankers periodically switch between shipping for Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. At the same time, up to 80% of vessels do not have full insurance from international P&I clubs, which makes operation more risky and limited. In 2024, 409 ships were officially scrapped. The safest ship-breaking operations are carried out in Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands. Turkey is considered relatively safe, while 2/3 of the ships are sent for scrapping to India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, regions where safety standards are often ignored. For owners of sanctioned vessels, the situation is complicated by the fact that many disposable operations are conducted in dollars, making the transactions formally impossible. Due to sanctions, restrictions, and the age of the vessels, an underground market for the disposal of illegal tankers is emerging. As Brough writes, owners are forced to sell the vessels at a significant discount, similar to how Russian oil is sold to circumvent restrictions. How the payments are made is unknown, but it is likely that cryptocurrency or alternative payment methods are used to bypass the American financial system. Recall, West has launched an investigation into the activities of New Zealand-based insurance company Maritime Mutual, which, according to media reports, helped Russia and Iran circumvent oil sanctions.
While Russian dictator Vladimir Putin continues to burn billions of dollars daily in his war against Ukraine, the situation in his country is rapidly deteriorating. The first Russian region has experienced supply disruptions for basic goods. Independent Russian economist Vyacheslav Shiryev drew attention to this. The problem has arisen in the northern part of the Krasnoyarsk Krai. In several villages there, people are experiencing shortages of even the most basic foodstuffs. This was reported by Sergei Sizanenko, a member of the Regional Legislative Assembly who personally visited Katanga and was forced to admit that the actual situation is significantly worse than official reports. Right now, the villages in this rural settlement lack basic food products, not even salt, a Russian official said. Local residents attribute the shortage to poor transportation access. The lack of regular passenger and cargo flights effectively isolates remote areas, making food deliveries irregular and extremely limited. Residents report empty shelves, the inability to purchase essential goods, and growing tension within communities. The war was in its fourth year, the world's second-largest economy was growing stronger, and teams of reindeer were being prepared at empty gas stations to deliver food supplies, Shiryev wrote. What's happening is evidence of a severe logistical crisis in Russia. Moscow is seizing foreign territory, yet at the same time is unable to establish stable and regular supplies of food, medicine, and other essential goods to its own communities. Recall, profits and losses across Russian industries vary widely by sector, according to the data from 2025. Not only has the overall profit pie shrunk, but what's left of it is being carved up very differently from the pattern seen in past years. Banks and businesses tied to military contracts continue to benefit, while much of the rest of the economy is faltering. Retail has slumped sharply as Russians tighten their belts. Construction firms are teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, with employees petitioning Putin for help. Coal mining is in such steep decline that a repeat of the miners' protests seen in the 1990s would not come as a surprise. In regions such as Tver, wage arrears have soared. In short, in year 4 of the full-scale war, not even close ties to the state act as a guarantee of financial stability. Peace to the huts, war on the palaces, proclaimed the radical Reds back during the Russian Civil War. In 2025, the Putin administration's economic motto might as well be, peace to the banks, war on the shops. It may not have been a deliberate policy, but the profit figures speak for themselves. Before the full-scale invasion, retail businesses earned 3 times more than they do now, 7 trillion rubles in 2021, compared to just 2.8 trillion in 2024. The collapse is mirrored elsewhere. Coal mining, for instance, went from a 752 billion ruble profit in 2021 to a 113 billion ruble loss in 2024. Losses are the first step toward bankruptcy, mine closures, and layoffs. In the Novosibirsk region, the Inskaya mine has already entered bankruptcy proceedings. Some mines operated by SDS Ugal, Mechel, Severny Kuzbas, and Yuzhnoanzerskaya have suspended operations. Market leaders like SUEK and Kuzbas Rezugal are in better shape, but they are not immune to the downturn. In April, ratings agency expert RA withdrew SUK's credit rating, citing insufficient information to apply the current methodology. Credit rating downgrades or withdrawals are a telltale sign of worsening business conditions, and in SUK's case, they have been accompanied by a delay in the publication of official financial reports.